A young orphan named Reiko offers herself as a sacrifice to the 5,000-year-old dragon, Ravendia, in exchange for protecting her village from the Demon King. However, he says he's only a vegetarian. Hearing that, the girl arranges the leaves in a circle and lays inside to invite him to eat her. She thinks that Ravendia is stronger than a Demon King, but actually, Ravendia is so cowardly that even a rabbit scares him. He tells Reiko to return home, but she says that if she returns, she will also be killed by the villagers, so she will sacrifice her own soul to him. He can sense a trace of magical power straining out of her. He guesses that she might become a wizard in the future. After thinking for a moment, he says that he ate her soul without even eating her body. He will go with her to tell the villagers this. She is very happy because from now on, she is a disciple of the evil dragon, Ravendia. Ravendia takes her back to her village. Although Ravendia is harmless, other animals fear him. He thinks he will be warmly welcomed by the villagers, but everyone is holding weapons. He tries to act ferocious and says that he has already eaten Reiko's soul. From now on, he promises not to harm the villagers and asks everyone to treat Reiko well. Regarding the fight against the Demon Lord, he will take it into long-term consideration. He is thinking that if he returns to the hole in a few centuries, the villagers will forget about it. However, Reiko's friend, Ryat, rushes to attack the dragon, causing him to panic. Fortunately, the villagers stop the boy in time. The boy attacked the dragon because he wants a dragon to return Reiko's soul. Reiko approaches Ryat and tells him that the dragon is not a monster, and she is now his disciple. If he dares to be ruled by the devil dragon again, she will kill him. At this moment, a pack of dark wolves is attacking the village. The dark wolves produce clones from their shadows. They are aggressive, strong, and hard to handle. Ravendia is very scared, but pretends to roar to scare them, but to no effect. At this point, Reiko jumps on Ravendia's back and says that from the moment the great evil dragon devoured her soul, she is no longer immortal. The great evil dragon shall not need to bother with lowly creatures. She alone will be enough to blow them away. Witnessing the scene just now makes Ravendia fear Reiko more than the dark wolves. She then climbs onto Ravendia's back and activates the wings of darkness to make Ravendia fly. She is heading to the Demon Lord's location, which terrifies him. He tells Reiko not to attack the Demon King at this time. She needs to go to a town and gather warriors to build a powerful force against the Demon King. Reiko obeys Ravendia's words and finds a nearby town called Paleodonor, but the town is being attacked by demons. When the guards see Ravendia, they merely point arrows at him. However, Reiko absorbs all those attacks and sends them to the monsters. Ravendia lands on the ground. Everyone realizes that Ravendia is the evil dragon who is said to be the Demon King's right hand. At this moment, a girl walks over and introduces herself as Aliante, the leader of the Paleodonor. She begs the dragon and Reiko to save this town. Ravendia orders Reiko to help Aliante, stating that this is a good opportunity for her to train. Ravendia tells Aliante that maybe a leader is manipulating the monsters. He instructs her to look for a skull monster or something similar, as that monster can manipulate every corpse within its sight. He guesses that the leader is in a high place over there. After defeating the monsters in the sky, Reiko returns. Ravendia tells Reiko to get some rest, thinking that Aliante is a good girl, and if he leaves Reiko to her, he can leave with peace of mind. After Aliante has defeated the leader, she comes back and chats with Ravendia for a while. Ravendia asks Aliante to take care of Reiko. He says that Reiko isn't his disciple, and her magic power doesn't come from him either. Aliante doesn't believe Ravendia's words and immediately draws a sword to attack him. Reiko rushes to protect her. Although Reiko's magic power is strong, her swordsmanship is far inferior to Aliante's. Aliante quickly defeats Reiko, knocking her unconscious. Then, Aliante rushes to slash Ravendia. Ravendia howls in pain but realizes there are no wounds on his body. Aliante explains that her sword is special and she can adjust its damage at will. She was just testing Ravendia's strength and trusting that he isn't the devil dragon. Aliante advises him to take Reiko with him because the bounty on his head comes second, right after the Demon King. Without Reiko's protection, he will probably be killed by bounty hunters. Aliante also devises a plan to help him avoid people's attention. The next morning, Reiko wakes up and finds Ravandea transformed into a little dragon. It turns out that Aliante gave him rejuvenating water last night to rejuvenate his body. However, Ravandea is unable to tell Reiko the truth and lies that he has shrunk his body to make it easier to communicate with humans. Then, they leave the town. After moving for a while, Ravandea feels very hungry and rests under a tree. Reiko notices that her master is very hungry, so she wants to kill some rabbits. But Ravandea, being a vegetarian dragon, refuses. Suddenly, some bandits show up and steal Reiko's equipment. Reiko touches the leader with one finger and sends them flying out of there. The remaining two bandits beg for their lives and save the leader. They then take Ravandea and Reiko to where the slaves are being held. Ravandea looks over and sees a cave with lots of fresh grass. He tells Reiko to take these bandits to the night and then come back here. After Reiko leaves, Ravandea happily steps inside the cave to enjoy the fresh grass. But unfortunately for him, he falls into a hole, sending him down a terrifying cave. A shadow appears, causing him to panic and run away. He runs for his life and accidentally steps on traps. The shadow catches him and warns him about the dangerous traps ahead. The shadow gives him an apple and lots of fresh fruit, which makes Ravandea feel extremely happy. After chatting for a while, Ravandea learns that the shadow is the god of the hunt. The god's responsibility is to teach humanity how to hunt, but after humans mastered the hunting technique, they taught each other, and no one remembers a god like him. Since then, the god has always been alone, because there is no disciple. Ravandea feels pity for him and asks to be the disciple of the god. The gleeful god immediately trains Ravandea and promises to teach him everything about hunting in only 3 hours. In the first lesson, Ravandea is forced to do 200 sit-ups, but he can't lie down like a human. In the second lesson, they focus on balance training on a bridge, but the bridge breaks as Ravandea tries to cross. This is followed by other basic lessons. The god is shocked because this is the first time he has failed to teach someone. He is forced to use his trump card for the next lesson, which involves dodging obstacles with explosives attached to the end of the strings. However, during the training, the rejuvenation potion Ravandea was using times out, causing his body size to revert to its original size. 8 hours have passed, and the god still can't teach Ravandea anything. Dejected at his failure, the god grants Ravandea a spell to strengthen his claws, then returns to his cave thoroughly depressed, with both promising to never mention their failed training to anyone. Ravandea falls asleep until Reiko returns and reports she found another city called Thrain, which is large, prosperous, and only protected by a shallow moat. So she demands to capture it for themselves before the demon lord does. The two approach a town, and Reiko starts her work. She sees a barrier protecting this town, and the creator of this barrier is called the Saint of the Water. Suddenly, the voice of the Holy Saint appears and tells Ravandea to leave this place. Ravandea tries to explain that he is not the evil dragon and just wants to rest in this town. Suddenly, the goddess screams and disappears. It turns out that Reiko has destroyed this town's barrier, causing the Holy Saint to panic. When they enter the town, Ravandea reminds Reiko to follow the previous plan to avoid scaring everyone. Even though she doesn't want to, she is forced to obey her master. She tells everyone that this is a trained pet dragon for performance. Ravandea runs around making jokes, and everyone also begins to believe Reiko's words and disperses. Then, a kind man wants to introduce this town to them. This town is protected by the Holy Saint. This region was a rock and sand desert inhabitable to humans. Then, a saint appeared who could manipulate water and earth. She created fertile farmland here, but Reiko has just chased the saint away. So Ravandea wants to explain to her. He leaves Reiko at the hotel and goes around looking for the saintess. The saintess is hiding in a stream at this time. After a while of searching, Ravandea gets lost and very thirsty. He goes to a stream to replenish his body with water. Suddenly, a little girl sees him and gives him an apple. He is about to eat it when the saintess shows up to stop her, because she thinks Ravendia is about to eat her. Ravendia explains that he has no ill intentions towards the little girl. He is just lost and wants to go back to the hotel to rest. The Saintess temporarily believes Ravendia and brings him back to the hotel. As soon as he arrives at the hotel, the Saintess immediately leaves to repair the barrier. At this moment, a dragon and a demon appear in the sky. It turns out that this dragon is the evil dragon, the right hand of the demon king. The demon provokes the evil dragon to attack the town. The next morning, the Saintess disguises herself as a maid to awaken Ravendia. She is here to prepare Ravendia a meal before he leaves town. But the meal is the children's veggie leftovers from the garbage yesterday. Reiko immediately pins her to the floor for disrespecting Ravendia. The Saintess turns into water and runs away. Ravendia wants Reiko to grow up like a normal child, so he gives Reiko an important mission, which is to play with the children of this town. Reiko immediately goes out to find the children for her mission. As soon as Reiko leaves, the Saintess returns and attacks Ravendia. She drags him inside the water, causing him to suffocate. At this time, Reiko is playing with the children when the evil dragon appears. She sees the evil dragon, grabs his tail, and asks him to play with her. The evil dragon gets angry and begins to activate his powers. Reiko simply picks him up with one hand and throws him to the ground. The dragon feels humiliated in front of the crowd and is very angry. He intends to blow this town away with his dragon's breath. Reiko continues to fly into the sky to play with him. She catches his tail and spins him, then throws him to the ground repeatedly. The demon feels the situation is unfavorable, so he transforms into a grasshopper to escape. Reiko still wants to continue playing with the evil dragon, even though he begs her to stop. She repeatedly throws him to the ground and accidentally hits the Saintess's location, but the water ball breaks and the two fall. Fortunately, Ravendia is saved by the spell that the god of the hunt gave him before. Ravendia tries to explain to the Saintess that he is not the evil dragon, but she doesn't believe him. She goes to create a water cage to imprison Ravendia and drain his magic power. However, she accidentally sucks dry the rejuvenating spell's magic, causing Ravendia's body's return to normal. Her cage can't hold a large dragon, so they are pushed outside. She ends up crying because she couldn't defeat Ravendia to protect the town. Ravendia approaches to comfort her like a child, and she finally trusts Ravendia to not be the evil dragon. As Ravendia is about to leave, he sees a grasshopper perched on the saint's head. The Saintess is immediately manipulated by this demon and turns into the water demon. She no longer wants to protect this town and wants to destroy it. She wants to show everyone how scary a water demon is, but something is not right. The people are rejoicing because she has given them such fertile soil. Enraged, she plans to attack them with a mud bomb. Ravendia panics and calls Reiko. Reiko rushes to destroy the mud bomb and kneels in front of Ravendia. The Saintess continues to cry because she can't threaten humans. Ravendia comforts her again. The saint then says a few centuries ago, when she newly joined the Demon King's army, she was bullied by the seniors. She was wandering around sadly when she saw several people dying of thirst. She intended to kill them to gain the trust of her seniors. She attacked them with water magic, which made them very happy that they were able to escape death from thirst. She got angry and continued to attack them with mud magic. Unexpectedly, they happily knelt in front of her and called her the Great Saint. They begged her to allow them to grow crops on her land. 100 years later, this land flourished thanks to the protection of the water demon. They worshipped her, making her forget that she was a monster. Ravendia rubs her head and gives her some advice. Taking this opportunity, the demon enters Ravendia's body. When Ravendia and Reiko are planning to leave this town, the saints invite them to stay here for the festival that will take place in the next few days. Elsewhere, a boy from the Adventures Guild comes here because he heard that this town is being destroyed by a dragon. The old man says that the dragons here are friendly and points at the evil dragon. Ever since the evil dragon played with Reiko, he has been haunted and gone mad. However, the boy still feels that the dragon is very dangerous, so he posts warning posters all over the other cities. Aliante learns of this news and immediately goes to the town of Thrain. On the day of the festival, Ravendia and Reiko go out to the carnival. But Ravendia is very upset because he is very hungry. He stares at the fresh grass that the sheep are eating, but when he gets close, the sheep have eaten all the fresh grass. Fortunately, a little girl gives him a bunch of fresh grass in her hand. The demon finds the dark side of Ravendia and turns him into a dark dragon. He rushes to compete with the sheep for food, but even though he has become a dark dragon, he is still bullied by the sheep. He returns to normal and hears that there's another dragon outside of town. She wants to invite that dragon to graze with Ravendia. The next morning, the girl and Ravendia go to see the dragon. Ravendia tells the girl to return home because he has a private matter to tell the dragon. He approaches a dragon and apologizes for what Reiko has caused. The evil dragon rushes over and begs Ravendia to play with him. Taking this opportunity, the demon returns to the evil dragon's body and provokes its dark side. The evil dragon has fallen into darkness and attacks Ravendia. Ravendia fearfully calls Reiko, and she immediately rushes to kick the evil dragon's face. The demon sees Reiko's power and wants to possess her. He controls the evil dragon to approach Reiko. Reiko intends to finish the dragon, but Ravendia stops her. Taking advantage of that opportunity, the demon enters her body. He wants to incite the darkness within her, but her darkness is so great that he is swallowed up. She remembers that her father was killed by monsters, and her emotions are in turmoil, which makes her unable to control her strength. She unleashes enormous energy and blows Ravendia away. Fortunately, Aliante arrives in time to save him. She says that Reiko has turned into a demon because the demonic power inside her has awakened. Reiko's current target is the saint because she has disrespected Ravendia. Ravendia doesn't want to leave Reiko alone. He tries to get close to her and gets hit back by her attack. It's strange that he isn't injured. Thanks to that, Aliante comes up with a plan. She grabs Ravendia's tail to block Reiko's attacks, just as she has predicted. Even though Reiko has begun to transform in her heart, Ravendia is still the invincible great evil dragon, so her attacks have no effect on him. Aliante unhesitatingly throws Ravendia at Draco in hopes that he can touch her and wake her up. However, he still can't reach Reiko and falls down. Ravendia says that he has a plan and asks Aliante to buy him time. Aliante agrees and rushes to fight Reiko. He returns to his original size and uses the evil dragon's wings as a launch pad. This time, he is convinced that he can fly to Reiko's place. Reiko is now trapped in her dream. Her father gave her a hair tie, so when Reiko wakes up, Ravendia helps her tie her hair back, which makes her very happy. That's a glimpse of the storyline of the anime. A herbivorous dragon of 5,000 years gets unfairly villainized. For those of you who want to watch it, you can watch it on your favorite anime site. See you.